I'm here with Royal Rumble winner 2023. Cody Rhodes has punched his ticket to WrestleMania like many of us hoped he would. Man, let's just, before I get into the return, let's just talk through actually realizing the moment, man. Like when you're actually there in the ring, on the way back, perhaps going back to your family, you think all those months of rehab, all of that pain and stress. And the first step, we'll call it, it's not the end destination, right? But the first step on the comeback was achieved.
There are things that you feel like will be more, I guess, commonplace when you say them in your mind. Oh, I want to win the Royal Rumble, and I want to go on last and be in the main event of WrestleMania. When you say them and you're ambitious and you have goals, that they don't come out the same as when it actually happens. And for me, I'm so glad that there was 60 yards or whatever running to the ring and then obviously coming back, because I really did get to think about things are going to change. This is a life-changing moment. And then when I came back through the curtain, just a little kind of inside situation that developed was my friend who works in talent relations, John Cohn. He stood next to me and he had a giant book and he said, "Are you ready for this?" And what he meant was the amount of media that potentially would follow, but also every step of the way. And to hear it from him, because he was a referee in OVW, we had come up together. It was very, I won't say sobering. It was very, that's probably the nicest thing I could have heard. And there's nothing really nice or romantic about those words, but I knew what they meant. Are you ready for this? And I just said, yes, let's go. And it's becoming more real every day. Obviously, I'm an emotional guy. I was on the bump the other day talking with Kayla and Matt, and I get very emotional at the idea of what's about to happen, but gotta reel that into a degree. And remember, we did all this training, months and months of rehab, in addition to strength training and the dietitian and everything that we had on board with us at the Nightmare Factory. Now we've got to do it at an even higher level. Best way to put it, the work isn't done.
Let's talk about the return a little bit, because to me, one of my favorite returns from, injury, and he went on to win the Rumble, was Triple H, right, in 2002. And there was some kind of parallels where you had the training videos, Triple H had the Beautiful Day set up, but you kind of had the, your own thing leading up to this Rumble. But I still kind of triggered my mind, right? Like, and I loved it, right? So what was the thinking behind that? Was it all kind of very deliberate? Was there ever an idea that you would come back? Because he obviously, Triple H came to TV before he actually won the Rumble, right? Whereas you just came back at the Rumble. So was it his big, well thought out thing? Like I'm thinking it is, Cody. Is there any kind of parallels there, or was it how you wanted it?
I mean, obviously, I'm not in charge of anything here. I'm a man on the roster, and I want to be the top man. But in the case of the video packages, the vignettes, and the buildup, that was, and I think it's an okay thing to share, that was Triple H's idea. And the team around him, WWE is always super anonymous in terms of the team, but I have to shout out, Colleen, JB, Adam Panucci, Ben Williams, these guys who put these videos together, because this is my situation is unique in a sense that I do not play a character. I don't even think I'm one of those turned up to 11. I am me always. And that's a little scary. That's intimidating if you're saying that he's coming back at the Royal Rumble. I'm coming back at the Royal Rumble and everybody needs to get off the mountain, or whatever it is that I said. Really, you're putting yourself in a situation where you best deliver. And I thought that they covered my journey in such a real way. It's hard just to look at videos of yourself and be anything but a huge critic. I'm very critical of my things, but I loved what they did. I do love there was a parallel with as we all know, Beautiful Day, and I got to have the score did such a good job with Born for This, and it's a fun package. Plus Pharaoh got to be in the video. He's always at the gym anyways. Sometimes, and this is more just in general, I think sometimes it's nice if as a wrestler, as a superstar competitor, to call your shot. but it's also risky when you call your shot. Joe Namath called his shot. Babe Ruth, they called their shots. I'm not saying I'm those individuals, but again, in our world, Triple H called his shot. And it's very important to me to keep your word with the fans, especially now. It's just as I've gotten older, keeping your word. And I felt I kept my word. I showed up in the best shape of my freaking life, and I was able to get it done. I think with the amount of time between now and WrestleMania, it's important that I keep my eyes fixed squarely on WrestleMania and squarely on wrestling for the WWE Undisputed Championship. And I think you hinted at it, and maybe this is the case. That might not be against Roman Reigns.